Oh, yes, and welcome in episode 18 of the Task Force. And we've decided to bring back the OG Stetsela, even though, what is he holding his hands up for? We've got our TV radio's Dan Leach. We've got Kingpin, the great Kingpin, Dave Rieger. We love Dave. But of course, nothing but problems with Stets. Stets, it took him 25 minutes to unmute his microphone. But it's great to have you back.
That's not what happened.
Yeah, well, explain to everybody what I said. You're like, it's on your end. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, no, it's on your end. No, it's not. And then you figured it out because you said there was a ghost in the machine. What was the ghost in the machine, Stets?
I don't know, but you're way over modulated right now, and it's driving me crazy.
No, Dave, I sound great to you, don't I?
Sound fine to me.
Yeah, Stets, if you want, I can make it disappear again. I can make it disappear if I want. I just did.
Oh,
all right, so listen.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, listen. It's great to get you back. Don't screw things up. But it's episode 18. It's our first classic edition of the Task Force since the beginning, as Stets has been in timeout because he's the king of Siam. But we've got a lot to get to. The NFL draft is in 2 days from Roger Goodell's basement. I've got my new it really is. I got my new AirPods, by the way, from Dave Rieger, which I paid handsomely for and feel very good about. They're great. But we've got kind of a little draft preview for you. We're also going to do our quarantine tips to keep you sane. What you can do during quarantine to keep you sane. And our Task Force top 3, which I know Stets and Dave are very excited about because they've got teams that actually have won Super Bowls. But your top 3 favorite draft picks for your team during your lifetime. So we got a lot to get to. I still haven't made my chicken, so I don't want to take forever tonight. But quick programming note, Dave Burkett, my good friend, the Lions beat writer, the best of the business for the Free Press. Tomorrow night, our live poker draw. We're doing a heads-up tournament on Friday. Stets, you would have been invited, but you don't play. But Dave's in. Dave's brother's in. It's sick.
I can't play. I mean, legally, I'm wanting to.
Well, it's all right. We love you.
They used to call me Stetsela.
Well, they call you Stetsela now. So we're doing a 16-man Sweet 16 type bracket. Wednesday night after the Dave Burkett show, Coach Campy from Oakland University and Tony Paul, my good friend from the Detroit News, we're going to break down the brackets. A lot of fun with that. And then this is a big one. Saturday, our good friend Kendra Loss, world-famous porn star and a Detroit sports fan, she'll be on the show as well. All right, so Dave, you're excited about Kendra Loss, are you?
Our dreams have come true on the Task Force. Me and Dave Rieger are taking over.
Yeah,
Leach is gone. Here we go, baby. This is tremendous. I hope he's still recording this.
I've lost my earpods.
If that's the case.
Just keep going. I mean, it's like
what the heck?
We're live radio. Just
got to keep rolling here. The draft Thursday night should be interesting. You heard the story today, Dave. The Winnebago being parked outside of Bob Quinn's house. Truly, I never thought I'd hear the words Winnebago synonymous with the NFL draft, but here we are.
I mean, it's also the news. Rob Gronkowski being traded from the Patriots to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and coming back to play with his boy down in Tampa, who, by the way, got a ticket the other day or working out in a park apparently that was closed down in Tampa.
Hey, listen, I can hear you guys again. Dave, what happened to my AirPods? They went off. These are my brand new AirPods.
No, we've decided that you're fired, and it's now the two-man
Stets, you know the funny thing is? You were fired a long time ago, so you can say whatever you want.
You're fired.
You were fired after show number 1. All right, Dave, I want to start with you. Let's talk about this draft. I know your Broncos picking 15. You're very excited. But what do you think the Broncos have to do for this draft to help, obviously, the new Lockistan get his job done under center? Are you fired up for this draft? Do you have ideas for 15? And are you looking forward to a virtual draft?
Very, very fired up for this draft. Broncos looking to trade up to at least 10 to get into the wide receiver sweepstakes as it begins a very deep wide receiver draft this year. I think they need some offensive line help. Garrett Bowles, I hope they ship him out of town.
Chip sticks.
And also they could use a linebacker to with Bradley Chubb coming back from injury to be on the other side of Von Miller and get well soon Von, who's battling the COVID-19 virus. So I'm looking forward to this draft. I'm looking forward to hopefully having an NFL season, and I'm looking forward to a good year, a start of a return to what the Broncos are used to, which is winning and making the playoffs and making deep runs.
All right.
So this is what looking forward to on Thursday night.
Should we bring Stets' camera back? I deleted him, so let's bring him back here. All right, now Stets, you're back. What about the Giants? There's obviously talk about trying to get Chase Young. There's talks about trading. Where are you at when it comes to the G-Men?
I think the Giants listen, I really love Isaiah Simmons from Clemson. The Giants defense has been just atrocious. I mean, I was ready to flip my coffee table pretty much every game last year. Daniel Jones and Saquon and company would score some points. The Giants couldn't stop anyone. So I would like to see them revitalize the defense. They did add some pieces via free agency. Blake Martinez, I like that move a lot. From the linebacker from Green Bay. Bradbury, the cornerback from Carolina, have added some pieces to the defense. But I think they're going to go offensive line, Dan. And I think they're going to go right tackle, which means probably Jarek Wills from Alabama or Tristan Wirfs from Iowa. I would be fine with either pick. I think they're both good. I've been actually watching a lot of footage of the tackles, trying to get myself hyped up for Thursday, knowing Thursday Giants are probably going to take one of them. But I would like to see them deal down if they can. But if they do deal down, depending on how far they could be out of range from one of the top tackles. So it's kind of an interesting scenario for them. But I would like to see them. Add pieces. The more pieces they add, the better they can. The quicker they can improve. The quicker they can improve. I should say. So, but gun to my head, it's Wirfs or Wills coming.
What do you think we're going to see when it comes to this draft? Obviously, I mentioned. I wasn't joking. It really isn't Roger Goodell's basement. But we have a digital, virtual draft. People are worried about these, people that have been bombing Zoom and hacking in. Could they start showing porn during picks? I know that there's certain teams, GMs, that are nervous about getting hacked and people seeing what they're talking about doing. Do you think there's going to be any big problems? I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some technical glitches. That's the way it goes right now when we're all at home. But do you think there's going to be any big issues where people are going to hire Chinese hackers to see what the Dolphins are doing or the Lions are doing or the Giants are doing, Stats?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I hope there's some glitches. I'm totally here for the wackiness, the zaniness of seeing everybody virtually and how, I think it's going to present a lot of challenges for the broadcast because they're going to have to be on their toes. If there's a delay, they're going to have to throw it back to the studio or however they're setting it up with who's covering it, whether it's the NFL Network or ESPN. I think they're kind of doing a collaboration. But I think there will be some glitches. They'll have phone lines in place. I was on the conference call with Bob Quinn a few days ago. He said they have redundancies in place, whether it be internet or phone, computer power, pretty much everything. And now we heard, they have a Winnebago. In their driveway with an IT specialist. Every GM has an IT specialist on hand at the drop of a hat to fix any issues. But who knows? Who knows how much bandwidth is in each GM's house? Who knows how many of their kids are playing on laptops or their PlayStation 4 that are going to cause some issues? But I'm here for it. It's going to be a fun experience. We need sports back in the worst way. We get it. I'll be a little different than normal, but I'm expecting some interesting and amusing things. Maybe dogs barking in the background. Maybe someone's walks in the room unexpected. Maybe who knows what's going to happen? But I'm here for it. I think it's going to be fun.
They had the test a couple days ago. The Bengals had issues.
Well, they don't have to worry about that. They're taking Joe Burrow. There's no issues there.
But then apparently it went pretty smooth after that. The question is, Dan, for you, You know who will be at the draft for the Lions. Who's this is the omnipresent SOL.
I'm not your brother, Dave. I don't believe in that. The
question is, can SOL be everybody's place that the Lions can SOL be at Quinn's and Patricia's and Rod Wood's and Martha's?
Wait, are you making SOL a person? Is that what you're doing?
SOL is an omnipresent. It's an omnipresent being that always hovers around the Lions, and we know that the NFL draft is the Lions Super Bowl. So the question is, can SOL be in multiple places at one time to mess with the Lions draft?
We also know that you're a trainer, weak, and a Broncos DB. SOL is not a person. SOL will not be at the Lions draft because if they don't have a regular good draft that kind of jumps off the page, it's going to probably lead to Bob Quinn getting fired. So there's no SO blank isn't a thing. That's a Jeff Rieger take. I don't buy into it. But you left the whole fold when you were 7 because you were scared of believing in something.
10.
I'll say 7 because you're too old anyway. But you were scared to believe in something that might hurt your heart. So you took the easy route out. You went in the kiddie pool and you became a Broncos fan that's from Michigan, Dave. So you can't bring up SO blank or anything like that. But that being said, by the way, you were talking about dogs barking in the background. I've become a huge fan of, I've always liked horse racing, but it's kind of having a renaissance now. It's one of the only live things going on during quarantine. And TVG is the main horse racing network. Often, there's a couple girls that do their broadcast from their house and their dogs bark in the background when they're giving you the horse pick. So I think there's going to be way worse than horses or dogs barking in the background. But as far as the Lions go, and I mentioned we're going to have Dave Burkett on tomorrow, and he obviously covers this stuff like a glove. Stets knows Dave Burkett very well, and so do you, Dave. The Lions can't screw this up. Whether it's finding a way to trade down from 3, get the extra pick, still get an Okudah or a Simmons or a Derek Brown, whoever it is, whether it's shocking the world and taking Tua, whatever happens in the first round, if the Lions, and I know that you can't grade drafts because it takes 2 or 3 years, but if the Lions aren't one of the winners of the 2020 NFL draft, it's not going to bode well for Quinn and Patricia, or Quinn-Tricia, as some Lions fans hate. So I want to see the Lions have a knockdown, drag-out, winning-type draft, make smart picks, not Hawkinson number 8, not trading up on a flyer with Jelani Tavai. They've got to make a solid draft. And instead, you've covered the Lions for several years. When it comes to this team right now, what do you think they have to do to make it obviously a knockdown, drag-out, plus winning draft, at least on paper?
Well, there's a couple of things to look at. One, first of all, Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia and the Lions front office are not looking to make a splash. They're not looking to win the fan base over. That's not what they do. That's not what they've done. That's not what they will continue to do. But that's what all the Lions fans want. That's what every NFL fan wants. They want a sexy name, a big guy to get excited, to kind of revitalize, the fan base and get them excited and hyped. I mean, that's the NFL machine, right? But that being said, the Lions are not going to, do anything unexpected here. I really don't think so. I mean, they and also too, they're not one player away from all of a sudden becoming a 11-12 win team. So and it's interesting because everyone's kind of saying they have a mandate to win.
Oh, they got a mandate to win. That's what Martha Ford said.
Martha Ford kind of was ambiguous about it, saying she expects to be in playoff contention. That's not necessarily win or you're fired.
Let me say this. Sheila Fordham, who has taken over the reins of, obviously Martha's not running day to day. Sheila Fordham and Dave Burkett, you talked about this, and I think you were maybe you were in the room for that, like that very, very short press conference, very few people there. But she said, "Listen, if this isn't a playoff contender, we're moving on." I hope that's true.
Yeah, but I mean, it was kind of ambiguous the way it was put out. Now, listen, they are feeling the heat because. You don't go 4 years without you don't go 3-4 years without making the playoffs. You usually don't last. You're going to get fired. So the heat is on for them to make a playoff run. Now, good call, Dave. What do I think they're going to do here? I think if Miami or the Chargers come a calling, I think they would move down, get Okudah, and then probably address the offensive line. Some of the big tackles probably won't be there if they say they get like the Dolphins 18 or 26. Maybe Jones from Houston, maybe Cleveland from Boise State, but the big four will probably be gone by then. Then maybe they go into a player, maybe they add a receiver. But I do think they address the offensive line at least in the second round. But I think they will look to add picks, and I do think Okudah will be one of them for sure if they move down to 5.
Well, I'll tell you this: there's obviously not much to bet on right now. So Vegas has got this. I mean, you can't bet in Vegas, but there's odds everywhere in the NFL draft. And I was checking them earlier today. Tua, the favorite to get Tua is the Dolphins. So I still think that they want him. And whether that means they're going to trade up, whether you mentioned the Chargers, I know the Chargers are still looking at him, but the favorite right now to land Tua is the Dolphins at like even money. Dave, when you look at the Lions, go ahead.
And I do. Well, one more thing. I do think that the Dolphins do have the most. They do have the most picks at their disposal to make to dance with another team. But I would say this. I do think the Chargers are a bit of a dark horse here because they don't have the amount of picks that Miami has, but they can move, a 6 and say a 2 or, another pick like that. They can trade with the Lions to get in, another way. So I wouldn't totally count out the Chargers, even though everyone keeps.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. And Bill Barnwell did a trade for every team piece on ESPN. It was about 4 or 5 days ago. He had the Chargers trading with the Lions, actually trading Jesse James and Hunter Henry. The Lions first. The Lions got a second from the Chargers. A first for the Chargers. So they're definitely in the mix for that. Dave, from your outside DB Rebel Alliance trader perspective, because obviously, you're a Broncos guy, so you don't get sucked into the Lions nonsense, which is a good and bad thing. But what do you see them having to do? So like the next day, after the draft's over on Sunday, when Yahoo or ESPN or, Peter King, whoever it is, does their draft grades or says winners or losers, what do they have to do to be a winner?
I think that they need to shore up that offensive line. They shore up that defensive line. They need to get some corners.
Did you say shore up or shore up? It's shore up, not shore up.
I'd also like them to get a running back.
You would like them to get a running back? What do you care?
They have a lot of things they need to do.
All right. Well,
I don't.
Go ahead.
Okay. So here's the thing, Dan. I don't hate the Detroit Lions.
Well,
I don't hate the Lions. I don't hate
the Broncos.
I would love to see the Lions do well. The Lions are just comedy. I just don't expect anything from them.
Wait,
it's just comedy.
But Dave,
I enjoy watching the Lions.
We've discussed this. You say you want the Lions to do well. It's the only thing you have left to hang over my head, aside from maybe being a better golfer. When you look at the Lions, what do you mean you want them to do well? You can't jump on the bandwagon when they finally get to a Super Bowl and win one. You're not going to be cheering for them. You're a Broncos slap.
Do you think that when the Lions finally make it to the Super Bowl that either you or I will be able to jump?
Yes. I'm going to be able to jump when I'm 97. We're all going to live to 130. We're going to get fake hearts and lungs and shit.
If I could interject here.
Yes, that's
to your earlier point, you're right. Bob Quinn does have to nail this draft.
Yes.
Right? But it also takes some time for a draft to bear fruit.
Yeah, 2 to 3 years.
That's why, to me, draft grades are always a silly thing every year. It's like, hey, this team really nailed it. And it's like, bro, they haven't even stepped on the field yet. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it takes a while for a draft to bear fruit.
Sure.
So, but I do think, but listen, you got to nail the first 2 picks at least. Those have to be impactful players. And some of the other picks Bob Quinn's had in the past years, they're rough. I mean, a good example would be Jamal Agnew, who was a Pro Bowl, punt returner. His first rookie season, I think it was 2017. Kenny Golladay
was a great
example. So he's hit on some players. Glasgow too. He hit on that one. Decker's, he's been a starter, kind of ho hum, not lighting the world on fire. Who are his other first rounders? Ragnow's starter, so you can't knock him for that one. Jared Davis hasn't been what we thought he was going to be. He's been, I would say, serviceable at best. Clearly not a stud amongst the top linebackers in the league. And who am I missing? Is that all the first round?
Your camera's going in and out, by the way.
And Hawkinson.
All right. By the way, Taylor.
Hawkinson.
Yes, Taylor.
I think we know.
Tight ends take a while to develop. It's the toughest position in the league.
I think we know which team got the better Iowa tight end last draft.
All right, shut up. Is your diatribe over, Stets? Taylor Phillips in the chat room. Christopher Fair wants to know what teams are looking for a running back, and where do you guys think J.K. Dobbins lands? Speaking of the odds, I know that a couple people that I respect and read think that J.K. Dobbins is the best odds to be the first running back drafted. I think he's like 4-1 to be the first running back drafted. But I think you look at the chance of not having any running backs, whether it's Taylor, whether it's Dobbins, whether it's Zach Moss, whether it's DeAndre Swift. You might not have any drafted in the first round. Listen, really quickly, we'll go around the horn here. Start with you, Stets. Do you think there's a better chance of no running backs in the first round, or that there's at least one?
I think there's probably at least one in the bottom, somewhere between 25 and 32. Maybe a team might sneak back into the bottom there and grab a guy they really like, whether it be Swift or Dobbins or Taylor. I think those will be among the first three taken. I don't think you'll see 32 picks go by before running backs gets
all right, fair. And when it comes to the lines, by the way, I think you got to look at guys like Benjamin down the trough. I really do like Zach Moss and P. Ryan from Florida. That would be second, third round backs, and definitely get some value there.
I think Jonathan Taylor will be a Lion.
Jonathan Taylor's going to go too high for the Lions. That's a bad pick. The Lions take him high. Dave, do you think there's a better chance that there's running backs taken in the first round or none?
I agree with Stets. I think at the toward the end of the first round, J.K. Dobbins, I think he's going to go first, and somebody's going to get a great running back.
It's a record year for wide receivers. I know that the over/under, I believe, is 6.5 in the first round. So I think with all those wide receivers, I think there's a better chance right now actually of no running backs taken in the first round. But a team maybe wants to trade back up into the first round. The Lions did that. They traded back up to get Kerryon Johnson. That could happen. But if no one trades up, I don't think a running back's taken in the first round. I think Dobbins and Taylor and Swift are going to go in the early part of the second round. So we shall see. All right, let's get into our Task Force top three. Speaking of the draft, we'll have some fun with this. How about your all-time favorite, because we all have three different teams, your all-time favorite top three draft picks for your team of your lifetime? I mean, I'm not going to go back to the Lions and talk about Bobby Lane, but of your lifetime, your top three favorite draft picks. Let's start with Kingpin, Mr. 300 games, Dave Rieger. And obviously you're going Broncos. You're not going to go Joey Harrington.
Obviously we'll go Denver Broncos in no particular order. I'll go 2010 first round 22nd pick out of Georgia Tech and Demaryius Thomas.
All right,
1995 sixth round 196th pick out of Georgia, TD himself, Terrell Davis. 2011 first round second pick of the draft out of Texas A&M, Von Miller, and an honorary pick, although the Broncos did not make this pick. He was drafted by the Baltimore Colts and then traded to the Denver Broncos in 1983 out of Stanford.
Yeah, he didn't want to play for the Broncos. He didn't want to play for the Colts. All right, that's a good list for Dave Rieger Stets. I know you're going G-Men here. Your top three all-time favorite Giants draft picks of your lifetime.
And Elway, isn't it amazing that the Colts had Elway, Luck, and Peyton Manning, the three most highly touted college players of our lifetime, and the Colts had all three. That's insane.
Well, they only had two play for them, though.
Yes, but I'm saying they drafted all three.
Yeah. And only one of them was.
Yeah, and one of them was a jerk that didn't want to play for him in Elway, who I love, by the way. All right, not for that, but for everything else. Go ahead, Steph.
1981, the number 2 pick overall out of North Carolina, the greatest linebacker to ever play the game, Hall of Famer, I met him in 1986. I have his autograph.
By the way, I think he's the best defensive player ever to play the game, not just linebacker. All right, who else?
That's what I said.
I think he's the greatest linebacker.
And then we head to 1994, the second round. Pick number 59 out of USC, the great Jason Sehorn.
Oh, Jason Sehorn, I like it.
He was my favorite player.
Chicken.
He was just the best.
You were just a big Angie Harmon fan, weren't you?
Angie Harmon. I never forget when they showed Angie Harmon in the box when they were engaged. Her ring was like half the TV screen.
Oh, yeah.
It felt like she was clapping for Sehorn, like picking up her hand and clapping and picking it up.
I love the Sea Chicken.
Amazing.
All right, who's else?
2004, the number 4 pick overall from the Giants that year, Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Little Rivers back.
Who was then traded He was then traded to the Chargers for their number 1 pick out of Ole Miss, the great and future Hall of Famer, 2-time Super Bowl winner, 2-time Patriots defeater.
I was at the first one. It's funny. Manning refuses to play for the Chargers. Elway refuses to play for the Colts, and they both win multiple Super Bowls. Elway with 2, Manning with 2. So I guess Burrow should refuse to play for the Bengals, go to the Lions, win 6 Super Bowls. By the way, Chuck says the Lions should draft another tight end. All right, enough of the nonsense. All right.
Oh, that's right. Burrows is going to turn down the Bengals to come to the Lions.
Shut up, Dave. If the Bengals don't draft Burrow, which we know they're going to, but if they don't, they should be contracted. They should literally be shut out of the NFL. All right, for me, there's so many ways I could go here, and I know we haven't won a title in Detroit, but we've had some great days and big one playoff win, lots of fun. But for me, I'm going to go with 2 guys from 1988. And I'm going to start in the first round, overall number 3, and my man from the U, Benny Blades. How can you not love Benny Blades? Can you guys still hear me? All right, good. I thought my AirPods didn't work. And then number 2, the heart and soul of the Lions defense, also drafted in 88 in the second round, overall 29, Chris Spielman. I hated when he went to the Bills. Stets, what are you typing on Skype? Stop it. This is why you've been put on timeout for a while. Don't ruin your welcome. And then there's no question, if you're a Lions fan and you're my age or any age younger than me, there's no way you can't go with the Lions' greatest draft pick ever. I know he didn't win a title. He only won 1 playoff game. Yes.
Joey Harrington?
Number 3 overall.
Andre Ware.
How about Matthew Stafford? Number 3 overall in 1989. My all-time favorite athlete, the Lion himself, the most electrifying running back ever. Yes,
Calvin Johnson.
Barry Sanders. Barry. He is the greatest. I got to watch him as a young kid, cover him as a young journalist, have him on my show for the Super Bowl, which, by the way, was the Super Bowl. Your Giants Stets beat the Patriots in Arizona. He came on for 30 minutes. It was one of the great interviews of my life because he is one of my heroes. Barry Sanders, Hall of Famer. Too bad they never won a title with him. A distant second is Gino Torretta. I really like Gino Torretta. No, I'm kidding. All right, great job by the boys on the Task Force Top 3. A couple things before we get going here. I wanted to ask you both this, because we all know that the 3 of us are good friends, even though Stets drives us nuts a lot, but we love him. He's the heart and soul of our life, one of the heart and souls of our lives. And we'll start with you, Stets. You are a Jamoke, by the way. He's a Jamoke. Stets, we're in quarantine. It's tough. We're obviously staying connected. I'm doing Zooms on Tuesdays for Fish and a dinner to movie shows for the band Fish. We're playing poker all the time. We're doing whatever we can to stay connected.
I'd rather have COVID-19 than listen to Fish.
Thank you.
It's unfortunate because you guys aren't smart enough to understand Fish, but it's fine. So
that's what it is.
You have low brain power.
Fish, Citizen Cole,
but listen,
dead.
All right,
man. Fish,
blah, blah, blah.
Serious,
blah,
guys.
That's what me and Dave are going to do when this is over. We're going to go into
serious here for a minute because I want to be serious. Earlier tonight, I had a friend reach out to me struggling in recovery. They're doing Zoom meetings for Alcoholics Anonymous and NA and all these different recovery groups. I think it's very important to obviously have fun and stay connected. But what are your ways, Stets, in quarantine to stay sane? Give people some tips to stay. I mean, I'll get to mine in a second here, but one I'll throw out right away is I have literally walked every single day, at least 2 miles or more since this thing started. I've already lost 8 to 10 pounds. It's good for your well-being. Like, that's an example of what we're looking for here, of what you can do to stay sane. Stets, I know you're keeping busy yourself. What are your tips for people to stay sane during quarantine?
It's hard because I'm still kind of going to work, so I'm not experiencing a lot of what other people are experiencing. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. I'm sure I would be feeling differently if I was working from home every day or not working for that matter. So my heart goes out to people who are, and I'm very grateful that I still have my job and I'm able to work. I do feel kind of odd about going into work, which is another conversation, but I just been trying to keep busy by, I've been recording, I've been doing some of my podcasts. I've been doing a lot of editing and stuff like that, putting things together, creating. So if you're in our field, you can create from home, if you have a computer, if you have, so I would encourage those who are in our business, even if you're furloughed or lay off, man, like if you have a computer, I mean, anyone can put up a podcast now, do it, get it done. Anyone can download Zoom. I mean, the Zoom audio, I did an interview from my last podcast. I don't have, this is by no means a state-of-the-art operation here in Stets' office. My wife does her morning show from here 5 days a week, and Zoom, you can do a chat and record the audio and then upload the audio on whatever podcast you have, and get some exercise in. Inform yourself. I watch some news, but I don't wake up in the morning. I get informed as much as I can. Watch a little TV. I watch a little CNN. I watch a little NFL Network. Maybe I'll go for a walk. I'll take my dogs outside. I'll have my cup of coffee. The weather's kind of been crappy in Michigan the last couple of days. But if it's pretty nice outside, I'll sit outside for a little while and just let my dogs hang out in the yard. Share in. Me and my wife go for a walk a couple times a week. So get some exercise. I think just try to find things to do. If you got something to do, maybe you got to do some spring cleaning in the house. The weather's changing. There's going to be yard work to do. I mowed my lawn Sunday. You ever see someone excited to mow his lawn? My God.
I didn't even know you knew how to do that. I'm shocked you know how to mow your lawn.
Come on.
All right. Those are all good things. Like and Stan Rieger. I mean, you
read. I've read a couple books so far too.
All right. Well, that's all good advice. Dave, when you look at ways that you think people can help stay sane, you're in a very unique position because you have a mother that you help take care of who is working from home, I guess. But, I know that you've been a godsend to her in many ways. But what else advice would you give to people? What other advice would you give to people about staying sane during quarantine?
Well, I'm kind of in the same boat that Stets is because I'm also still going to work. But one of the things that's a lot of fun is the Dan Leach poker games that we do on it seems like almost on a nightly basis that you set up.
Squatch room.
That's a lot of fun to give us a little bit of normalcy. Video games. I got back into playing Madden, and the Resident Evil series, Resident Evil 3, just released the remake of the classic horror game. So those things have been keeping me sane, and also, helping out my mom with her work at home. She's run into some challenges, but she's doing pretty well.
Well, it's all good stuff. And as I mentioned, for me, I've been going on walks every day. I think that obviously, and you mentioned the poker, which has been great. And I know our good friend, Coach Campy from Oakland U is enjoying playing the tournaments every night. We have a lot of media guys in there, so it's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, Dave, your brother, he started off really hot. He's been struggling as of late. You've been doing better than him, so that's obviously embarrassing for Jeff Rieger. Now, we have a lot of fun with that. It's a way to stay connected. I mentioned I've been doing these fish dinner and a movie Tuesday night Zoom calls.
Why is it embarrassing that I've been doing better than Jeff?
Because you're not that good of a poker player. But you're okay.
I owned you the last.
Yeah, you owned me. I've won 7 times. How many times have you? Dave, did I say this earlier? Without getting into the money, How much have I won? How much have you won?
Pay him his money.
I have won 50 times the amount of money Davis. By the way, Joe Blake says, love that you're doing this podcast. Dan, you're one of my favorite personalities on 97.1. Very kind. And I'm sure there's some love for Stets and David there somewhere. But it's staying connected. I'll try to. Brian Chapman, my friend from 97.1, gave me this. He said this to me a few weeks ago when we had him on the task force. I thought it was really cool. I in a way, I've been doing this. I'm sure you guys have too. Every day he'll try to call somebody or text somebody he hasn't talked to in a while. Check in on them. I've been calling my friends from New York, from California, from boarding school, from college. It's been really cool to stay connected. I talked to my doctor friend who's an ER doc in 3 local hospitals. We have late night calls, and I'm up. I don't really sleep much, but I just think it's important to keep busy, exercise, connect with people. You're going to have some weird dreams at times and freak out. That's probably read a story on that the other day. It's totally normal. But also, like Dave said, be there for your parents and your family members if you can. I know some people are living with them, and some people have to take care of them. Be safe, obviously, but be there as best you can for people that need that kind of help, need the emotional support. Vivek Murthy, the old Surgeon General under Obama, said this a month and a half ago, right when things were getting crazy. He said, we're going to have an economic recession. That's inevitable. But we're also going to have a social recession. And that means that people are going to withdraw. People are going to be away from each other. I know personally I'm a big hug guy. You guys too. I miss giving hugs. I miss physical contact. I miss sex, that kind of stuff. But you've got to be there the best way.
Going off the rails here.
Well, I've got Skype sex shows that I take care of. But
those dating apps getting to work out there.
Yeah.
For you, Dan?
You understand my point, though. We've got to stay connected. And that's why I love you 3. It's a lot of fun to always stay connected to you 2. Or I said 3, but you 2. Stets has multiple personalities, so it's like 7 of you. But that's the key right now. I think it's very important we all stay. What are you saying now, Stets? I can't see that. I'm not on my Skype. All right, you're a Jamoke. Before we go, as we always do, El Professor, before we always do, we give our interesting house item of the day.
I love catching you guys off guard in the chat.
What's that?
I can't hold it straight.
I wish people could see that. All right, let's start with you, Stats, your interesting house item of the day.
My what?
Your interesting house item of the day.
Oh, my interesting house item of the day. I always forget. Luckily, my office is filled with fantastic things. Let's see here.
I always forget about the one thing Leach told me to do.
This is, you see that? That says August.
1943?
That's back
for Ted Williams?
1943. This is a pic of my dad, who was 8 years old.
Oh, that's great.
Holding boxing gloves. This is, I always keep this up in my picture right above my desk, kind of like my dad hanging out with me. It's just I love old school pictures. And, after my dad passed, he had basically like a treasure trove of all these old pictures that my stepmom gave to me. And she was like, this is a bunch of your stuff. My dad had so much stuff like tucked away in weird parts of the house kind of deal. And I came across these pictures and I was just enamored with them. So it's like my favorite picture of my dad. So I keep it up, kind of a reminder. My dad passed away in 2004. But it's just a cool picture. I don't know what my dad was doing. Like, I wish I could have asked him about this when he was alive. You know what I mean? Just my dad's 8 years old with boxing gloves. Like, was he boxing people in the neighborhood? Was he, what was he doing? Was he boxing my uncle? Like, I have no idea. I try to imagine what he was doing. Was he hanging out with his buddies? Maybe somebody just had him try the boxing gloves on to take the picture. So it's kind of I kind of use my imagination when I look at it, but it's a cool old pic of my dad when he was a kid. And really
what was your dad's name? Very
Thomas.
Cool. Thomas Stetsela. Love it. Dave, what do you got for your interesting house item of the day? Do you have another Broncos Miles helmet?
Oh, of course, in honor of the NFL draft, one of the best picks in my list here is a McFarland Von Miller in the alternate color rush uniform.
Ooh.
For Von Miller here, and that is my cool house item of the day. It can't compare with Stets' picture of his dad.
I don't know. That's a pretty sweet McFarland picture.
That was awesome. But this is a pretty cool McFarland. It's never been opened.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. All right, you guys can't see this, but Dave knows about this. This actually it involves Dave Rieger. So the other day, my nephew left this on my car in a very safe social distance way. He tagged on a golf ball, a fireball jawbreaker, a couple of those, Twizzlers.
Ooh, jawbreakers.
And it says, I'll show it in a second, but I want to read it. It's on a pad of paper, Michigan Wolverine paper, which is the best. Hi, Uncle. Here is a golf ball to remind you of me, which is making me cry right now. It says, have a good day. And it says, from Dave and Oren. Because he wanted, I'm like, Oren, why did it say from Dave and Oren? And he said, I wanted it to be from Dave Rieger, too. So I thought that was pretty freaking great. Got me all teared up.
Thanks, Owiz.
Yeah, the Owiz is the best, my nephew Oren. So he's hanging in there. He's been struggling a little bit with the lessons for school because, imagine if we were kids right now. He's 9. Imagine if you were 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, senior high school, whatever. And imagine going through this. I mean, all of a sudden you go from going to school every day to literally being at home for a month plus. And it's got to be tough for a lot of you parents out there. And my heart goes out to you and my respect level goes out to you because it ain't easy. So he's been going up and down with that, but he's hanging in there. He's doing good. And I love the King Owiz. All right, let's do our parting shots. Dave Rieger, we will start with you, my friend.
I would like to say, everybody keep on doing what you're doing. Hope the curve is starting to flatten. Hopefully we can proceed forward and, hopefully get back to somewhat normal circumstances in the upcoming weeks or months. And, just keep on doing what you're doing. Pay attention to the rules. At some point, we'll get back to sports and get back to life and get back to work and get back to. I guess it'll be a new normal, as Dan likes to say. But just everybody stay safe and
Where's your line? You got to give your line, Dave.
I could do the line. I didn't do the line.
Did your brother give you a hard time about the line? Because you get very insecure when your brother gives you feedback.
No, I did. No, he did not give me a hard time. I will give the line if you'd like.
Yes.
Our favorite Coach Eric Taylor, Friday Night Lights, one of the best television shows that used to be on television. Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
Love it. By the way, Mike, my friend in the chat from Premier Lawn Service says, hopefully the curve flattens so DTM can pay his Michigan-Ohio State football bets for the past 3 years. I forgot what I owe you, Mike, but you owe me hats. You owe me and Jeff Rieger hats and beanies. All right, Stets, parting shots, my friend.
Parting shots. I hope everyone's out there staying safe. I hope everyone is, taking care of themselves, both mentally and physically during these times. And I hope everyone's looking forward to the draft on Thursday night. I am.
Yep.
I will give my quote of one of the greatest characters ever that was just introduced this year on Better Call Saul, Lalo Salamanca. You're the guy for this.
Great stuff, and it's always a pleasure and an honor to be with you two, Jamokes. We'll have many more of these shows to come. As I mentioned, we got Dave Burkett tomorrow in our poker show, but the original lineup, there's nothing better. And as I always say, be there for each other, wash your hands, stay in touch with people that matter to you, because we all got to be there for each other. Try to get out there and exercise and know that we will get through this. I saw this story. It was a heartbreaking story, but it also gave me hope. A woman the other day died from the COVID-19. She was 102. Her sister died 102 years earlier from Spanish flu. But she made it. So there's going to be some tough things. I've already lost friends. I have good friends that have lost friends. But we're going to get through this. And as I've always said, on the other side, I believe we're going to be a gentler, more gracious, more grateful humanity, if you will. And that's my great hope. So I love you both. Thanks all for watching. We will be back. And until next time, believe in the...
And Carol Baskin definitely...
Believe in the Jamokes. Believe in the dream. We love you. Task Force out with the AirPods. First time with the AirPods. I love you both.